Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us begin with the headlines. Malaysia confirms the debris found in Indian Ocean island is from the missing MH370 flight. Further tests later today for final confirmation. Expanded Suez Canal to be inaugurated by Egypt as it looks to revitalize its economy. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari to represent India at the opening ceremony. Congress protests to continue in Parliament. Government's appeal to allow smooth functioning of House goes unheard. Arrested Pak terrorist in Udhampur tells police he started for India 12 days ago and has been in the country for 2 days. Mohammad Nawed was captured after the attack on the BSF convoy on Wednesday that left 2 Jawans dead. And the decisive Ashes 4th test will begin today at 10 Bridge. Australia look to further series after being 2-1 down against England. Well, our top story today, in a major breakthrough, Malaysia has confirmed that the wreckage found on the Reunion Island is from the missing plane MH370. A team of international experts in France examining the debris confirmed it after initial tests. However, French experts are still waiting for further test results for the final confirmation, while the plane is believed to have crashed in the Indian Ocean.
515 days since the plane disappeared. It is with a very heavy heart that I must tell you that an international team of experts have conclusively confirmed that the aircraft debris found on Reunion Island is indeed from MH370.
It is confirmed. The debris found near the Reunion Island in Indian Ocean is from the Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. The announcement by the Malaysian PM Najib Razak providing the first direct evidence that the plane crashed in the Indian Ocean closes a chapter in one of the biggest mysteries in the aviation history. However, French experts are still divided in their opinions. Even though the initial test reports suggest very strong indications that the debris is from the missing Malaysian airliner, they said that the final confirmation would come only after further tests later in the day.
Au vu des constatations effectuées par l'expert, nous pouvons dire aujourd'hui qu'il existe de très fortes présomptions pour que le flaperon retrouvé.
Families of the 239 victims has little clue as to why and how the plane disappeared. For them, the real closure won't come until their family members' remains have been recovered.
It's not the end, although they found something, it's not the end. They still need to find the whole plane and our spouses as well. Yes. We still want them back.
One piece of repellent doesn't mean the thing has been fully discovered, you see. There must be more debris to be found. Yeah. Don't just throw that one piece of repellent. That's not enough at all.
A fragment of the plane's wing called the flaperon was flown to French capital Paris after it was found covered with barnacles near the Indian Ocean island of Reunion last week. Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 went missing on March 8, 2014 en route Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board. It might be the first real breakthrough in the search to find what happened to the plane, but it's not the end. The search continues to find the real truth behind its disappearance. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, another top international focus, hundreds of migrants are feared drowned after a fishing boat said to be carrying as many as 700 people capsized in the Mediterranean. Now, almost 400 migrants were rescued from the boat, which is said to be only fit to carry 40 or 50 people, while the bodies of 24 adults and 1 child were recovered from the sea. And those that were rescued are being brought to the Italian port of Palermo. They are due to arrive sometime this morning. Authorities say that as more time passes, the search and rescue operation turns to one of recovery. The craft that capsized, a barge-like fishing boat, is understood to have done so 25 miles off the coast of Libya to the northwest of the country's capital, Tripoli. The boat is thought to have left from the Libyan city of Zuwara early yesterday morning. The boat carrying the migrants seemed to sink in less than 2 minutes, meaning many migrants could have lost their lives while being dragged down into the water with the craft and may still be trapped under the sea. And moving on to our top national focus, one of the terrorists who attacked a BSF convoy in Udhampur yesterday was captured alive. He was caught with the help from the villagers that he had taken hostage. According to reports, the captured terrorist has confessed that he is from Pakistan. However, India has decided to go ahead with the meeting of NSAs later this month, despite two major attacks in the last few days.
In a major breakthrough, security forces captured a terrorist alive after he took hostages during a terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur on Wednesday morning. Along with another companion, he had attacked a BSF convoy, killing 2 Jawans and injuring several others. But he was overpowered later by his own hostages in a nearby village.
बोलने लगा मैं आप मेरे साथ चलो, मेरे को रास्ता बताओ कहाँ तक मुझे ऊपर जाना है, कहीं जहाँ पे कोई पकड़े नहीं, मुझे सेफ जगह पे पहुँच जाऊँ मैं. और सर मैं सोचा मैं नहीं जाऊँगा सर, इसने सर गन खड़ी कर दी सर. मैं अपने सेफ्टी के लिए सर इसके साथ चल पड़ा सर.
देखिए आपकी जान का भी खतरा था, आप जान भी जा सकती थी, पर तब भी आपने हिम्मत दिखाई. किस तरह से सारा किया है
सर? इसके साथ हम चलते रहे देश की खातिर सर, भारत माता की खातिर सर.
पता है इसको खाना खिलाया, इसको भूख लग रही थी, इसको खाना खिलाया हमने.
कोई काम पे जा रहा था, उसके बाद रोटी थी होटल से,
खाना खिलाया इसको. बाद में इसने एक साइड में हो गया, मगर इधर कोई डर नहीं है. हमने इसको पकड़ना था, किसी हालत में पकड़ना था इसको. एक हाथ में एक साइड हो गए, पकड़े इसको, तो तब तक ऊपर से पुलिस आ गई. इसने देखा पुलिस आ रही है, अब ये मेरा बचना मुश्किल है. इसने हमारे पे टॉर्चर करनी शुरू कर दिया. लेकिन हिम्मत इनकी भी, इसने उनकी गर्दन दबाई. और मैंने उसकी गन पकड़ी. उसने इतना बोला, गन पकड़ने पर कुछ को इसने बोला कि मेरे को छोड़ दो, मैं भाग जाता हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा.
According to initial reports, the terrorist has confessed that he came from Pakistan. An investigation has already begun to get more information out of the nabbed militant.
They have seen 2 militants only. उन्होंने अभी 2 ही militant. We are verifying that in the process. In the due course of time, we will verify कि है actually कितने.
So, how long it will take for the operation?
Operation जो है वो on है, तो by evening we will hope.
The attack comes amid several instances of ceasefire violations by Pakistan over the past few weeks. A civilian was injured in the latest incident in Poonch on Tuesday night. This was the second case of ceasefire violation by Pakistani Rangers in a span of 24 hours. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, joining me for a chat this morning is Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, who is the retired Vice Chief of Army Staff. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. Sir, now a Pakistani militant captured alive in Udhampur, another militant gunned down on the Jammu-Srinagar highway yesterday. Are the Pakistani militants increasingly targeting Jammu region?
Morning, Aishwarya. First of all, the real heroes of yesterday's terror attack are those 3 hostages who overpowered the terrorist, took the risk. They overpowered an armed terrorist and have captured him. This is the second incident after Bombay 11 when we have caught a terrorist red-handed with almost a smoking gun. Otherwise, if we had not caught them, Pakistan's first reaction, as always, would have been to deny that they came from Pakistan. However, with the confession made by this terrorist, that cannot be denied. So their second line of defense is that they are non-state actors, which implying that the Pakistani regime has no control over what is happening on their territory. If that be so, if that argument could be valid, then if there are elements that are being trained on Pakistani soil, they are being armed and motivated and indoctrinated there and harming Indian state, then Pakistan should cooperate with India to hit them together. Our Home Minister has already made this offer some months back. Pakistan should seriously consider that. India cannot be expected to keep suffering terror attacks and then accept an alibi that they are non-state actors and Pakistan has no control. The problem in Pakistan is there are dual centers of power. Ever since the 2 prime ministers met in Russia, there has been an escalation in ceasefire violation and in terror attacks. Obviously, there are elements who do not want the relations between the 2 countries to improve. The political leadership in Pakistan, headed by Nawaz Sharif, obviously wants the relations to improve. However, I don't think he is in full control. Unlike India, we are a functional democracy where the political leadership has full control and they can speak for the country. In Pakistan, that does not appear to be the case. We have these NSA talks coming on later this month. Obviously, my belief is that if the relations between two nations have to improve and between two neighbors they must improve, then the only way forward is through the dialogue. And dialogue must take place. But India has been insisting that first create a condition, an atmosphere which is conducive to holding these talks. So far, Pakistan has not met that condition.
Sir, but
however, I am sure the NSAs will meet. However, the first point of the agenda will be the terror attacks and nothing else.
Right,
India should continue to make effort. Yeah.
Sir, but are we seeing a larger trend in these recent... Yeah, are we seeing a larger trend in these recent incidents? Because apart from the militants targeting Jammu region, militancy in Jammu and Kashmir has also registered a spike in last 1 year. So is there a bigger picture?
You see, after the present government came in power in the last 14 months, obviously there is always an effort to test the resolve of the new government. That phase is not fully ended. Because we have not reached any firm conclusion. But I think the BJP government's policies are right. The talks and a tough stand, a tough response on the LOC whenever that happens is taking place. The talks must also carry on simultaneously because otherwise there is no solution to the problem. We must convince Pakistan that it is in their interest. India can perhaps, if we are a large country, we can keep absorbing this kind of incidents which we have done ever since we became independent. But it is more in Pakistan's interest to indulge in talks and improve the relation between the two countries. Otherwise, today it is LET, which is a Pakistan favorite kind of a terrorist organization along with Jaish-e-Mohammed. Tomorrow the ISIS will also come and both countries are going to be victims of their attacks. They are a very, very ferocious terror organization. So I think Pakistan should see the writing on the wall, they should see the larger pictures. We have given ample proof. We gave it in Bombay, we are going to give it now. But giving proof is one, acceptance of it by Pakistan, although hopefully there are signs now, yesterday's article or day before yesterday's article by the ex-DG of their FIA is an indicative that even people who have held power are beginning to come forward and accepting the establishment's hand in these terror attacks. He is accepted in Bombay. Even their panelists were not able to deny that what he says is not true. So the solution has to be found. Pakistan must dismantle the terror infrastructure operating from their country and hitting India. They still have those terror camps going on in POK. The other view which is being propagated that now the emphasis is shifting from Valley to the Jammu region, that may not be entirely correct because the terrorists hit wherever they find easier to hit. So the density of deployment of security forces is very high in the valley. It may be more difficult for them to infiltrate and carry out these attacks, so they will shift their base to Jammu. Their aim is to just hit and cause terror. As this terrorist has said, that my aim was only one to come and kill Hindus, which is very unfortunate indoctrination. Pakistan needs to grow out of this, whether it is non-state actor or state actor. Non-state actors cannot operate without the regime's assistance. That is why, if you call LET non-state, then who is of his side? Why is the state treating him as a VIP?
Right.
Who is Lakhvi, who even in jail was given VIP treatment by giving LET guard, by giving a telephone facilities from where he could conduct operation. So Pakistan's duplicity is coming more and more to light in front of the international community, and Pakistan will continue to get more isolated. Yesterday, China bailed them out by saying that the proof supplied in the Bombay attack was not adequate. I don't know how long China will continue doing that. Their economic interest in Pakistan was fine, which was their compulsion, but there is a limit to everything.
Right, sir. Well, thank you so much, sir, for that perspective on that story. And our other political story, well, there seems to be no end to the deadlock in Parliament as the Congress will continue with the protest over the suspension of 25 of its legislators by Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. A large number of Congress workers demonstrated outside the residence of Mahajan yesterday. It was the second day of the Congress's attack on the government over the suspension of its lawmakers. The government, meanwhile, made a fresh appeal to Congress to help ensure smooth functioning of the House and allow important legislations to be passed for the country's sake. In view of repeated obstructions by opposition in Rajya Sabha, where the ruling coalition is in minority, there are indications that the government could convert some bills into money bills that do not require the assent of the upper house. However, the three key legislations, namely the land bill, the GST bill and the real estate bill, are struck in the Rajya Sabha pending its approval.
Curtailing legislation means curtailing the progress of the country. I hope that the opposition, particularly Congress party and the left, they realize this, come back to the House and then join the government in getting these important legislations passed. The government is keen that all these bills are taken up in this session itself and approved at the earliest in the larger interest of the country.
And in Breakfast Bulletin, we'll take a very quick break. But coming up after that, former Goa Minister Churchill Alimau arrested late last night in a bribery case. We'll get you all the details. Stay with us. Well, former Goa Public Works Department Minister Churchill Alimau has been arrested in connection with the Louis Berger bribery case. Alimau was picked up from his residence in Varka village at around 10:30 p.m. last night and was officially placed under arrest. Superintendent of Police confirmed the arrest, but he refused to divulge any more details. Along with former Goa Chief Minister Digambar Kamath, Alimau has been questioned by the crime branch in connection with the Louis Berger bribery case. The officials of the US-based company had confessed to paying a bribe to the Indian minister for winning the consultancy of water augmentation and sewerage pipeline project under Japan International Cooperation Agency. Crime branch officials claim that Alimau's role in accepting the bribe is established, which is why he has been arrested for further investigation.
If I not done anything, I am very innocent, my friend.
Where are you expecting arrest?
I am very innocent. Nobody arrest me.
And India is rushing relief supplies, including 10,000 packets of noodles to Myanmar, which was hit by massive floods. The Home Ministry said that on the request by the government of Myanmar, India is rushing relief supplies. In the terms of immediate response, India has arranged 100 tons of rice, 10,000 packets of noodles and 10 tons of medicines like chlorine tablets, anti-diarrheal tablets and other life-saving drugs. 3 aircrafts carrying relief supplies will take off today and provide them to Mandalay and Kaleli in Myanmar. Now, floods and landslides in Myanmar have claimed at least 46 lives and affected some 2,15,000 people. Tens of thousands of people remain cut off and swollen rivers are now threatening to inundate low-lying southern areas of the country. And Egypt is all set to open an extension to the Suez Canal to great fanfare today. The project is President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's centerpiece of plans to revitalize the country's economy. The estimated $8.2 billion project includes a 35-kilometer parallel waterway flanking the existing 145-year-old waterway which links Asia to Europe. Now, Transport and Shipping Minister Nitin Gadkari will represent India at the inaugural ceremony.
The ambitious Suez Canal expansion project includes a deepening and widening of 37 kilometers of the existing canal. This will cut transit times for southbound ships by 7 hours and allow larger vessels easier passage. The Suez Canal Authority expects a windfall of additional revenue, $13.23 billion in annual revenue by 2023 from $5.3 billion in 2014, with the number of daily vessels rising from 49 to 97 over the same period. To fund the project, the Egyptian government raised $8.5 billion from Egyptians who bought investment bonds with quarterly dividends of 12% promised to all investors. The government hopes the new canal will double the country's trade income as well as contribute towards 1 million new jobs in the entire Suez Canal zone development.
عملنا وعرقنا وتعبنا وصنعنا تاريخ كمصريين لخدمة العالم.
On the streets of Cairo, colorful flags fluttered from lampposts around Tahrir Square and festive lamps draped the city. Authorities have declared a national holiday today, suspended fees for public transport and have posted a sermon to be delivered in mosques on Friday which declares that all Egyptians here and abroad must support this giant project. People in Cairo were excited about the new project, with some worried about security.
افتتاح بكره نتمنى ان هو يعدي على خير، ما فيش شيء يعكر هذا الافتتاح ان شاء الله. وبعدين نتمنى ان كل الشعب المصري يكون ايد واحده.
قناه بتمثل لي حاجه كبيره جدا، اولا لان الفتره اللي فاتت طبعا الدنيا باظت خالص على المستوى السياحي لان جزء مرشد سياحي، فاتمنى ان يكون هي مجال استثمار يتفتح تاني وترجع السياحه تاني، ده على المستوى الشخصي.
The opening will be attended by a number of world leaders including French President François Hollande and Yemeni President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi. Union Minister Nitish Gadkari will represent India. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more news from across the globe in World Wrap. US President Barack Obama on Wednesday sharply attacked some critics of his historic nuclear deal with Iran. During a speech at an American university on Wednesday, Obama warned that a block of the deal by US lawmakers would accelerate Iran's path to a nuclear weapon and lead to another war in the Middle East. Obama's comments come amid a furious lobbying effort in Congress to secure enough support to ensure survival of the deal. The Palestinian Islamist movement Hamas warned on Wednesday of renewed violence unless Israel lifts its blockade of Gaza. At a ceremony marking the end of a military-style summer camp for 25,000 Gazans, a senior leader said that they will not accept a blockade. Now, Hamas rules the Gaza Strip and has been holding indirect contacts with Israel over a long-term truce in return for an end to the 9-year-old blockade. A 50-day war in July to August last year killed about 2,200 Palestinians and 73 on the Israeli side and destroyed tens of thousands of homes in the impoverished coastal territory. A deal has been agreed in which Russia will receive a compensation for France's decision last year to cancel the sale of 2 warships. France will fully refund Russia for the 2 helicopter carriers. The deal was worth $1.3 billion. France had stopped the planned sale after the outbreak of the conflict in eastern Ukraine. The Kremlin says that it now considers the dispute to be fully resolved. On to sports now. Well, a confident England will take on a cornered Australia in the 4th test of the Ashes series in Trent Bridge that begins today. Down 2-1 in the 5-match series, this is the decisive test. While form issues struggle Australia, England has its worries about injuries. Here's a preview to the test.
The decisive Ashes test begins today at Trent Bridge. Down 2-1 in the series, Australia have their task cut out. Under pressure, Australian captain Michael Clarke said he wants to lead from the front.
I look forward to coming out here and performing like we did at Lord's, trying to put on a really good performance, and I'd like to lead the way as captain.
Clarke conceded his side's middle-order woes were down to his poor form with the bat and vowed to get among the runs.
Obviously, I'd like some more runs, there's no doubt about it, but I feel like, really since coming back from my hamstring injury, I've spent a lot of time working on my game.
Australia's top 3 of Chris Rogers, the leading scorer in the series on either side, David Warner and Steve Smith have made sizable contributions, but Clarke's indifferent form has been matched by Adam Vogts at 5, with dropped all-rounder Shane Watson and his replacement Mitchell Marsh also failing to make an impact. Clarke could drop down to bat at 5 in the 4th test today.
If you get beaten, you get beaten, but I can guarantee you that we're going to have a red-hot crack, that's for sure.
England would love to regain the Ashes at Trent Bridge, but the loss of leading bowler James Anderson to injury is a disappointment they must overcome, with Durham seamer Mark Wood hoping to overcome his own injury problems to play.
So as a group of players to experience that, we're talking at the end in the dressing room for a while and say how much we enjoyed it. But we kind of earned the right to get the crowd on our side, and hopefully we can do the same this week. Trent Bridge is another good ground for us, and hopefully the crowd, as I say, can be the 12th man.
The absence of Anderson today, where he has an exceptional record and possibly at the Oval in the final test, will be keenly felt.
Yeah, it looks really good. For Woody, he seems to come through training pretty good. So last check in the morning, but yeah, we've got everyone to select from.
Since drawing with the West Indies in Antigua, England have followed up every test victory with a defeat, something Cook hopes they can change.
Well, he's got some swing, Johnson.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more news from the world of sports here. Former Pakistan skipper Wasim Akram escaped unhurt in a bullet attack in Karzaz, Karachi. Unidentified gunman opened fire at his car while he was going to the National Stadium for a bowling camp. Confirming the incident, Wasim said that a vehicle rammed into his car from behind. He added that some guards and the owner of the other vehicle came out and shot at him. Brazilian Douglas Costa was in a fine form as Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid 1-0 in the pre-season Audi Cup tournament, with a new signing charging down the wing and setting up Robert Lewandowski for the late winner. Real were missing the firepower of their regular attacking trio, with Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema out injured and Gareth Bale on the bench. Spanish emergency services suspended the underwater search for missing free diving champion Natalia Molchanova. Molchanova's diving peers called emergency service after the sportswoman failed to submerge while doing a recreational 30-40 meter deep dive on Sunday. The AIDA statement said that the 53-year-old was diving without fins when she supposedly swam into strong underwater currents. With just 1 year to the start of the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, the city's mayor said that he was proud to say that all venues are on schedule to be ready for the mega sporting event, which kicks off on 5th of August 2016. Mayor Eduardo Paes toured the Olympic Park and voiced confidence and optimism as he said that the Olympic Park was 82% complete. And time now for us to wrap up the bulletin. But before we go, we'll leave you with these visuals from Hiroshima, where the residents are commemorating the 70th anniversary of the first atomic bomb being dropped by a US aircraft. The bombing in Hiroshima and a second one on Nagasaki 3 days later in 1945 brought an end to the Second World War, and it killed at least 140,000 people in the city. We'll leave you with these visuals. Thanks for watching.